We're back to talk about. We're back to talk about that surefire clickbait band. Now, I'm really glad to say this is the band who are the hot topic right now. The band who, my friend, I say that I'm usually really mean to him, but I'm being extra nice to him now. My friend Neon is gonna see live this weekend because he's my bestest friend in the whole world. Go on. Who is it? Not like people don't already know from the thumbnail, but.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. I'm excited. Really, really fucking excited for this. Not to rub it in, but I'm going to be like one of the first people in the world to see Momoko with a mic. So that's crazy to think about.
BABYMETAL, baby!
On stage. I know. Momo on stage officially with a mic, hearing her vocals. Apart from obviously the lucky people in Japan.
How will you feel if she walks out and just immediately breaks into like a Barry White? Give me chocolate.
Pretty cool. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to this weekend. I'm kind of gutted. It's not a proper like BABYMETAL mainstreaming, and they're just opening for Sabaton. To be honest, I keep feeling really bad for Lordi because I keep fucking forgetting Lordi's even part of this gig.
Lordi's part. Lordi are that band who won like the Eurovision Song Contest, right?
Yeah, they were, yeah.
That's the only thing I know about them is they had like the big like horror metal masks, and then they won the Eurovision Song Contest with a generic metal.
I know a lot of people that love Lordi, and I've got to say I've never. It's been one of those bands I could never really get into.
Do you know what though? I will say, because I only know that one song, and that one song it's pretty kind of likable. It was kind of likable. It was fun. You know, it had that sort of Bon Jovi quality of being clearly designed for people to sing along to, and they were going for the Eurovision, so what you expect. But it felt disposable, but it was fun. I liked it. They clearly had a sense of humour about it. So I'm not really sure that it wasn't one of those things where it made me go, I want to listen to more. But it was like, okay, that's cool. It's fun. And I appreciated it as the thing at the time, but I just never really figured the fact they were still around. I think I heard at the time they would actually been around for a while before even that. So.
Well, they've been around forever.
Really?
Like forever. Yeah, they've been around a long time.
Like an infinite amount of time. But so you're going to see BABYMETAL, and in a way, I kind of almost feel like I'm interviewing you on this because we've talked on your channel. We're not going to repeat ourselves too much. So anyone who hasn't seen it, do actually check out me and Neon. We had like a good chat about this on podcast Desk 15 on Neon Reaper's channel. Not that he needs any more subs, but we were over there talking about this subject because we were speaking to someone who'd been to like the previous show in Japan. But yeah, I mean, like you say, you're going to be one of the first people seeing Momoko, and I mean, okay, so I know what I'm after. I think all of us, in a weird way, we want to see like a Momoko take on the black BABYMETAL thing. You know, we want to see like obviously we don't want her to just exactly do black BABYMETAL, but we'd like to see her and Moa doing something, having something, because it's been so Sue focused, which is great, but it's all been very Sue focused for the last 5 years. And what are you kind of looking for?
To be honest with you, I'm just glad to see them more than anything. I'm looking forward to just seeing three girls on the stage, knowing that it's more permanent. And I reckon with obviously the new EP that they brought out, the other one.
Like, we're still calling that an EP, aren't we?
Oh yeah, because it's not really classed as a proper album, is it? So,
but
technically, I don't think we'll see the best from Momoko until the fourth album, till the proper fourth album.
We'll see. Okay, but here's the thing. Like, this is where I always get a little bit weird about this kind of thing, because I agree that it was kind of interesting how they announced this right after the other one dropped, and it seemed like they were almost deliberately invalidating it straight away, not to like sort of play it down, but to say, oh, this is us coming back, but this is not the end goal. I get that, but it is still a 10-track record, CD, whatever you want to call it. And I think for them to say it's not an album, I'm like, yeah, but it is. It's like,
but it is.
It's like, yeah, it's like me coming in. It's like, okay, so this is my horse. Yeah, be careful. It's got a long trunk. Yeah, and the ears will get in the way. But it's a good horse. It's like, yeah, but it's an elephant, isn't it? And yeah, that's kind of my point. Is that I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. It's not an album. It is an album, but I am excited about the first album with Momoko.
I think that's when the real journey, like the real shithousery, will start, and we'll see a lot of mental things. I think for that, I think that's where the surprises and stuff will really be. I'm just glad that they're touring now. I feel like that's it now. They got this other one out the way. They're doing the world tour. I feel like once that world tour is done, to be honest, like, it's actually really, really well done if you think about it. Like, really, really well timed. I know you just said then about like maybe invalidating that album or EP a little bit.
Well, they got
but
paid.
If you think about it, they've dropped this. They've announced a member. They're doing the world tour on the back of this, and then now they've got really a year or two of time to like do a few shows, do a few tours, let the other one sort of fade in the background, and give themselves a little bit of time for Momoko to settle in, to become part of the group, for them. They have 2 years of going, okay, let's make some songs and find what sound we want to do next.
I read so much in the comments about that transition over the last 5 years, but it is interesting, like you're saying, there's the transition now between she's announced and the first album with her.
So yeah, I think they've done that on purpose. I feel like that's actually really good. Because I feel like if you didn't do the other one, and they announced, like, it was just, let's just say it was a random Budokan show, and they announced Momoko as the third member, the fan base would be going absolutely fucking crazy, because they'll be like, oh, new album when? Momoko when? You know, like, and you'd want content straight away, and they've done it, and I feel like they've done it in the best way possible by doing it straight away. Everybody's still happy with the other one. And they've bought themselves time now. They're going to go on a bit of tour for a little bit, and they've got themselves the 2 year gap that they need to go and do the...
Quick tangent I need to do, because I'm going to reply to what you said, but first of all, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to explain for anyone who... I've been committing the cardinal sin of interviewing here, which is that while you were talking, people saw me looking down. They know I was on my phone. Now, I'm going to be very clear. I hate people doing that, but I have a very important series of messages coming in right now that I'm replying to very easily. But I am listening to our friend Neon, which is why I'm going to reply to what he just said about Kyari Pami. And I agree that she has made a fantastic fourth member. And hearing them do their version of Candy Racer was just fantastic. Sorry, what's the second one? Yeah, no, don't say it like it's some new information you're getting. But no, in all honesty, I kind of agree that well, I understand why people were pissed off, but I do really think they did a fantastic job of how they dealt with the change between Yui and Momoko. And yeah, I accept 5 years I do think was too long, but I think they're going to reap the benefit of that in the long run, because of the fact that, first of all, I mean, for every person who thinks, oh, it was too long with only 2 members, there's also some people who are like, it's too quick after Yui, and okay, there's always going to be people on both sides of that. I think what they actually did there, which was so good, is they allowed this long space of time where they could test out being alone to see what the impact of not having a room, and then really spend a lot of time getting used to having someone in there. Like I said, when they approved Momoko as the member, the third member, she'd already been the third member for a while. I think a lot of people know that. In fact, I think towards the end of it, a lot of the other Avengers were appearing as kind of like because they were friends, but I think even then they probably knew actually Momoko's the one we're going for. But you know, you can't just have Momoko all the time or people start cottoning onto it. So in my opinion, I think that Momoko's been the third member for a while. I think she was the third member when they were creating the other one. I think they've known this for a while. But they did the right thing, which is they got people used to her, and then when they said she's the third member, people were already happy. Oh yeah, well, Momoko, we've really enjoyed her, and then you can give her the mic, it adds to it. As for this whole thing about doing it so quickly after the other one, I think this is more a case of that's good business, because they did it, they gave it like 2 weeks, I think, which is enough time for you to get the main bulk of your sales figures. Then once they had the majority of their sales figures and they had BABYMETAL hype, then they announced the new member, which, you know, it kind of is not going to be, it's fine, we can live with that. And then they've already basically built hype innately for the next album, like right as the 2 week main sales period of the other one is ending. So for me, it felt like cynical business, but in a very good way. And I'm not going to object to it. I mean, we had like loads of great baby metal news for several months. You know, we had the announcement, we had the comeback, we had the individual songs coming out, we had the build-up, we had the announcement of live shows, we had the other one coming out, then we had the live shows themselves, then we had the Momoko announcement. They've kept us entertained. So cynical as it is, credit to them for keeping us entertained for this period of time. But yeah, I think the transition now, I think, in a way, I get that a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I can't wait, we're going to see Momoko live, I can't wait to see what she sounds like on the record. But for me, I'm just like, okay, all right, now we know, I just want to hear her on the record. And I'm like, and now I'm just kind of like, I wish you'd just fucking done this the other way around and got her on the other one so I could have heard her already. But
this is what you said about like how you feel like they knew they were the third member. I don't believe that. I don't think they knew. I because obviously Momoko went off to do the Korean show to be part of that band and stuff like that. All the Avengers.
When was that actually? I'm going to check that at the same time. Sorry, because
it was called 100 something. It was like 100 contestants, and they
Girls 999 something like that.
Something like that. I can't quite remember the name of the show, but she went off to do that. So I don't think they know. I knew. I think the other one was already probably sort of maybe at the start of being made then, or they were tinkering with that probably around that time. And I think it was just a case of, obviously she did the show, she did quite well, but she didn't do well enough to be obviously one of the main girls or anything on that. And I think that's the case where they probably reached out to her and said, hey, would you fancy returning? Because the other two Avengers by then were already gone. I think Momoko was already, like you said, most people's choice to be the third girl, and the one that spearheaded the Avengers probably the most in the tours and all that. So, she'd already built up a good enough goodwill, and they'd already tested it with Metal Galaxy, obviously with the Avengers. They obviously knew with the other one, and maybe I think this was done probably half and half. I feel like most of the other one was already done before they realised. They reached out to Momoko and said, hey, would you want to be a permanent third member? Because, like I said, I don't feel like they would have done that or been prepared if they knew that she was already going up to the show and possibly would have signed a contract to be with this girl group. So I feel like it was rushed probably after that.
I mean,
I feel like she's gone and done her thing. Where did the show? Said, okay, it didn't work out for me, and I think she's turned around and said, I'm very happy doing the baby metal stuff. Maybe that's where I'm supposed to be. So that's how I kind of see it.
I mean, again, this is one of those things. Sorry, I'm having a bit of trouble resizing the frame. There we go. This is one of those things where obviously we don't know, and obviously I'm speculating a little bit, but just in my own opinion. So it says here that she joined Girls Planet 999 on July the 9th, 2021. Now that's like almost best part of 2 years before this announcement was made, which means that she would have had to have applied for that show early in 2021, so a good couple of years ago. This would have been during COVID when Baby Metal were not particularly active. I think a lot of people pointed out how they were very quiet during that period. And so, this was during a period where I think they wouldn't have been making any decisions. Now, I don't know when she came off of that show, but it's quite possible that during that whole phase was when it was more brought up that she gets involved. And I mean, I don't know. If I was to take a guess, I would say they probably knew that they wanted her probably not long after. I think when they had that hiatus, during that hiatus is when they would have sat down and worked this out. So probably in summer of last year.
Young.
Yeah.
She's quite young, and obviously, metal's probably not her go-to. Very much like Sue and Moa in that respect.
Exactly.
When they first joined, metal wasn't their first go-to choice. Let's be honest. And I feel like maybe this is something. Maybe they offered her, "Hey, do you want to be third member?" And maybe she's just turned around and said, "Hey, this is something I feel like I have to do. I need to be given the chance to do it." And maybe they've waited for her to see how that's turned out. And then maybe she's done, right, okay, I tried my thing, didn't quite work out. Let's do the baby metal stuff. I mean, I don't want to say that as a second, like she's done it as a second opinion or like a second choice.
But there's
nothing.
Sometimes
in life you just need to do. You just need to do. Sometimes what you want to do, what your heart tells you to do.
There's nothing, essentially speaking, wrong with that. I mean, because the thing is that ultimately, you can, like with the channels that we do, certainly I know this for myself, and I think this is true for you too, you can like pop and metal. You can want to sing pop as much as you want to sing metal. And as you say, these girls started off from Sakura Gakuen, very pop sort of place. And so, I don't know, like I said, I would guess that around the time that the band went on hiatus, the hiatus was really the period when they wanted to choose who the next member was going to be. And I think that Momoko would have been a clear favourite at that point anyway. Now, by the way, I've put up a picture on the screen of her as she was dressed with ice cream. This is MOMOMETAL for Girls 999. And do you know what? This is one of the things I like. She is the only member of BABYMETAL that I'm aware of who we've got a picture of her being a pop singer, but also kind of as what age you're an adult is very different in different countries. But she's going to be 18 in this picture, so she's kind of more grown up. She's not like a little kid in this picture so much. And I kind of like the fact that we have those two sides of her in very clear contrast, because obviously like Sue and Moa are now so far from the original like poppy version of them we see in Sakura Gakuen, but Momo, we can just like load up a picture of her as like an 18-19-year-old all geared out and ready to go and do some K-pop, and I like that. I think it adds something colourful to the group, that she's still in touch with that pop side of who she is.
I think all the girls are. I think like when Sue and Moa are like not dressed up in all black leather and rocking out to metal, that they are probably in pink trackies and
probably
doing girly days out and stuff like that.
But we don't see that as much.
We don't see that though, do we? So we don't know. I think it's probably a good place to leave it. What do you guys think? Sue, pink trackies.
So I like that. I start scrolling through pictures of Momoko in like K-pop outfits and the neon sign. I think this is a good time to leave it. No, this is a good time to begin.
I think it's good. What do you guys think about the whole Momoko thing? Was it a good choice?
Bloody perfect choice, and everyone knows it.
Yeah, I think they do.
Come on, yeah, we all got to be on board the Momo train right now, because she's just so perfect for the group, and she's got such a bright personality. Everything I've seen of her like behind the scenes stuff, she's funny, she's upbeat, she's cool, and she's as well. She kind of matches with the whole thing as well. She's like, I'm so glad that she's not in a K-pop group. As much as that might be good for her, I think she's got too much personality for like being K-pop groups tend to they like to make you a bit cookie cutter. I'm glad to see her not so much in this K-pop outfit, but instead out there doing something a little bit different. I think it's great. I think it's brilliant. And so Neil wants to know your opinions at home. I'm telling you your it's great news.
I was laying down the law.
Yui fans, I loved Yui, but it's a new era, and I think it's a good era. So Yui fans, don't kill me. But there you go.
I mean, personally, like I said, I love Yui. I loved. It was for me. It was always a toss up between Kano and Momoko. I'm really like Momoko as well. So yeah, like I said,
that's
what
a
do you guys
hard
think?
Momoko, yeah.
What do you guys think? If any of the Avengers were one of the three that you could have picked, who would it have been and why? Don't have to just say Momoko just because she made it. I'd like to see people's opinions of what they thought.
Say it.
Yeah. Neon for Bird Girl. You know it could have happened. Anyway,
he bought the outfit already.
Yeah, I did. It's in the wardrobe. Freaking hell, I'm gonna have to send it back now. But
10,000 subs, you see that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, get us to 10,000 subscribers, and me and Howard will make sure we do an episode dressed as BABYMETAL girls. There you go.
Whoa, why are you dragging me into this? Anyway, on that note,
down, I'm bringing you down with me.
On that note, it really is time to end. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Yeah, sub and stuff.
Howard, BABYMETAL dresses, make it happen. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you guys soon.
Bye bye.